Hi guys. Today marked 1 year since I found out that I was pregnant with Jayden, and I have to tell you, I've been thinking about this all day. I have been going over everything that's happened this year, and it boggles my mind everything that has happened. I would never, if you had told me a year ago that everything that's happened was going to, I would never have believed you. I would never have believed that I had to have emergency cerclage put in at 16 weeks, or that I'd spend the next 3 months after that on bed rest, or that I was going to go into preterm labor and have a baby at 28 weeks, or end up back in the hospital after I was released because of a uterine infection from that C-section. I, yeah, I would never have fathomed that. I just could never have imagined. I, and there are days that I still kind of just like, wow, did that really happen? Because it flew by so quickly. I spent half the summer on bed rest, and then I spent the other half traveling back and forth to hospitals. And at the time, it seemed like it was going by so slow, but this year has flown by. It is just like yesterday that I found out that I was pregnant, and now he's getting ready to turn 7 months old, and I don't know where the year went. So, I don't know. And I just remember when I found out that I was so scared, and then to have him early. I will tell anybody this if they ask, and that is that what was it like to have a preemie, and that hit what is it like to have a preemie, and it is the most nerve-wracking and emotionally draining job that you'll probably ever have in your life. And it's because every day you never know what's going to happen. And there were days when he was in the hospital that I was wondering if looking at him, that was going to be the next time he had one of his breathing episodes. Was this the last time I was going to see my son alive? It really, it messes with your mind, something horrible. And you can't think solely about yourself. You have to think about this little person, that they need you to be strong. They need you to keep it together, because you lose it, they're not going to have anybody to take care of them when they come home. And I just, I remember there was a lot of days that went by where I might have said maybe two words to somebody in the beginning. It wasn't until he got moved to a closer hospital that I really started talking while I was there at the hospital. And that was mostly because it was a smaller hospital and a smaller nursery, and really, I mean, literally like on top of each other in there. And some of the nurses, the two of the nurses specifically, I still talk to now, and they made it so much easier because they would talk to me and they would joke with me, and uh, not just about Jayden, but about other things. And know they used to joke with me that I needed to go on their payroll because I could tell them exactly where everything was because I just sat there a lot of time. I would sit there and kind of just watch them walk around and they pick something up and move it across the room and forget to pick it back up and put it back or whatever. And another person would come looking for it and like, where's this at? And I was like, oh, it's over here. Or something like that. Or it got to a point where they actually asked me one day when there were two babies that had gone home the same day, and they couldn't remember what day that was, and they were behind on some of their paperwork, and they were like, Renee, when did this baby go home, and when did this baby go home? I said they both went home on Wednesday, remember? And they're like, are you sure? And I said, yeah, this one went home early in the morning, right after I got here, and the other one went home later in the afternoon. And he said, oh yeah, you're right. And I mean, it was a running joke for a while there because I just I was there for so long. And I know that in the beginning, I would have loved to have had somebody do this with me, and that was sit down and talk to me, another parent that had been there for a while. I did this with another girl. I didn't intend to do this with another girl. I was kind of pulled into the conversation. I was giving Jayden a bath, and she was crying because her son had high billy levels, and they were thinking about keeping him for a day or two until they could bring him back down. But they were waiting for the next round of billy levels to be taken and processed before they made that decision. She was due to go back home the next. She was due to be released the next morning, and she was sitting there upset that she might have to leave her baby at the hospital, and um, the nurse, she looked over at me and she said, tell her it doesn't get any easier. I was like, what doesn't get any easier? Because I hadn't been paying attention completely. And she goes, tell her it doesn't get any easier leaving your baby behind. And I looked at that poor girl right in the face and I said, no, it doesn't get any easier. And it doesn't make you a bad mom that you have to leave them. I've been doing this for 10 weeks, and there's every day I go home cry, and because I have to leave him. So it doesn't, but it doesn't make you a bad mother because he needs help that you can't provide him right now. And that made her, it was like a light went off in her head, and she stopped crying and she started to handle that whole situation a lot better. And that made me feel really good that I was able to help somebody finally. And I wish that I'd had that. I wish I had somebody to say, look, it's really hard right now, but you are going to get through it. And every time you think you're about to break down and you can't take anymore, you can't find that strength anymore, you're going to find it. And you're going to find it because you're a mother and your baby needs you to do that. And it took me that whole 12 weeks, almost that whole 12 weeks to figure that out, but I figured it out. And since I figured that out, it's been smooth sailing since. And I am so blessed to have him, and he is such a beautiful baby boy, and I couldn't be happier. And I'm so thankful, despite everything that's gone on this year, that I have him. And hopefully one day in the future we'll be blessed with another baby, but right now I'm happy with the one I have. So I just wanted to share this day with you and what I've thought and everything. So, but I will talk to you all later. Not sure when, but see you later.